Jalen's been playing great lately. I mean, he's been playing really good lately. And yet, like you mentioned, and this is kind of how you wanted to tee it up, he's not really ever closing or finishing a game. He's never out there. So is it disjointed? Is it that they just know that Marcus Morris has got lightning in his veins, or ice in his veins, and he's going to be able to knock down the shot like without concern? Maybe is it the veteran factor? Who knows? But maybe it's this scenario where you move Marcus Morris to the bench, but he finishes the game, and you let Brown start, and then Marcus Smart stays with the first unit, but he's an early substitution so that he spends some time with that bench unit to kind of steady the hand offensively that way.
And I think that's a good point, because the mix is what it's all about. Just going off a net rating here, right? That's just one measure, right? Um, Marcus Morris and Marcus Smart are the two guys in the negative category since over the last 10 games. And it's a random number. I mean, yeah, I could pick 11, I could pick 8, but over the last 10 games, Mook and Smart are the only negative players that are getting major minutes. Um, Terry Rozier is right around 0. Jaylen Brown is only 2.3. And if you throw out the 12-minute, the very modest 12 minutes that Shemi Ojale is bringing to the party, the leader in the unquestioned leader in net rating is Gordon Hayward. So you also have to look at where he fits in this mix too. Um, I don't know where Jaylen or Hayward fit. Um, I'm frustrated that Jaylen seems to come out with 6 minutes to go every single time, regardless of how well he's played, and despite the fact that
Especially how
we
well he played in the postseason last year. It's
yes,
not like he hasn't proven that he's got it in him when he's hot. He has games where he's just way off and games when he's way on, and we've seen that. Right now, he's way on, and you would think in that scenario, you'd give him the opportunity to play like he did in the postseason last year when he's on.
well, and we know other guys aren't, right? That's the other piece of this, and that's the thing that I expected to see out of this team at this point, right? There's 20 something games to go. And I figured the first, we know Brad first, till January or whatever, he's trying things, he's doing different things, he's trying to see what works. It took longer, I think, because of all the messed up stuff that happened early on. But I thought at this point we would see him riding the hot hand a little bit more than he has. And I guess that's the frustrating part to me, in that we've seen Jaylen have some good games, some consistent games, some games without lapses, and he's nowhere. And I looked at there's an NBA scout who does some YouTube breakdowns of game film, and Marcus Morris was just as to blame for that 28-point loss, or 20-point the comeback, the Clipper game, as anybody on that team. And he calls everybody after the game. Jaylen made mistakes in that game too, and those were called out. But I just don't see, and I know that Jaylen makes those mistakes. I see those mistakes. It frustrates me to no end that he is not, at this point in his third year, taking those things out of his game to a more consistent degree. But Marcus Morris is not like this end all be all player. He had a great start to the year, but over the last 2 months, not great. I mean, okay, but he's not like an automatic put him at the end of the game. You got it. The only question is rebounding, I guess. Right? That's the only reason I can argue why you'd have Marcus Morris in there instead of Jaylen or instead of Hayward. Can you figure it out? Because I can't.
No, defensively, maybe you want a little bit more size, a little more body out there. That
Mhm.
might be it. Jalen's strong, but really he uses his athleticism more than strength. And Marcus is, definitely scrappy. But I would like to see us attacking the basket with Jalen. I mean, he did do that
Yes.
against Milwaukee. He had that one, he just carved right through the paint. And it's not like the defense wasn't set. Maybe they were sleeping a little bit, but he just flew right through and dunked. That's the kind of attack that we need from him, and I think you need it at the end of the game. He should be the one going to the line. I know traditionally the free throw shots for him have been a little questionable, so maybe that's another reason he's not out there at the end, is they figure he'll end up spending a lot of his time, a lot of his offensive opportunities at the free throw line, and maybe they're not confident in that, and they see that as a low percentage play, so they're not doing it. But he's not going to get better at it without it, and he does bring something completely different. Just that quick knife edge attack in there, and all that. And again, he's still never run any of these backdoor plays. Like, why the hell is Jaylen Brown not running backdoor cuts for easy baskets? How is that not in this offense yet? And what a great little sucker punch that would be in their repertoire at the close of games. Maybe not in the final 30 seconds, but definitely over the final 2 minutes of a close game to just get an easy backdoor cut with that athleticism and dunk it. Just everybody would ride off of that. And it would open things up for Kyrie as well. So those are the things I think about. I don't understand why we don't even don't do it in the last 2 minutes. Do it sometime. Just do
Mm.
it once.
I no, and I think we did see that a little bit when Jalen was kind of finding his footing. I think we've got enough of a sample size though to say Jalen's back, he's been back, he's living back, he's fine, he's good, he's doing everything. Could he be better? Should he be better? Sure. I mean, right now he's slightly better than an average player. I mean, his net rating is kind of, he's a little bit better than what he's given up. That's good, but they got it. The team needs more than that from him, and maybe it's the situations he's in. He's also sharing a lot of time with Terry Rozier.